On UKkhan Bookland, I'm here with Gillian Godden to talk about her latest book, Diamond Geezer, if I can pronounce it right. And those people that got their observant head on will notice something a little bit different tonight, because half an hour before I broke my wheelchair and I'm now laid in bed. So that's a different start for everybody.
So everybody now knows I'm in bed with Alexander Hawley. There you go. There's the first. Yeah.
Absolutely. First time for everything.
Yeah. Well, you won't even ask me out yet. Come on, mate. You're a bit quick for my liking. At least say please.
I know that lots of your characters quite used to getting guys in bed, but
yeah, exactly. Yeah. You see, you could be part of my story, really, couldn't you? Yeah. I've got how to get an interview. They say, don't they? It's casting couch. How to work your way up, get in bed. It's a shame your last name ain't Waterstone, isn't it? Right then, go on, Alex. Let's be serious. Let's be serious now. Yes.
Yeah. So I normally start off by saying, could you describe the plot? But we were saying beforehand that might be a little bit difficult, but if you could try first, Gillian, that'd be good.
I'll do my best. Right, so plug time. Right, Diamond Geezer. Yeah. So Nick Diamond, handsome, wealthy lawyer, living in Chelsea, got everything, got the wife, got the lifestyle, absolutely everything you could want. But he also lives a double life in Scotland. And that is on one of the slummy, crappiest, I nearly swore then. Yeah, I didn't swear. That's all your A4 paper, no swearing. That's on one of the crappiest estates in Scotland. It's got everything you could ever dream of. In fact, it reminds me of the estate I live on. You know, it's drug dealing, it's prostitution, and literally they live on their own community because basically they're all in it together. So you don't bring in the outsiders and you don't bring in the police. They deal with what they do. And all the drug dealers happen to work for a chap that they hardly know and was basically known as the Undertaker. Now, he's called the Undertaker because he does all his business in cemeteries because nobody else can hear him talking to you.
Pretty strange place to decide to start your dealing. I mean,
actually, in fairness, it's not that strange, is it? Because there's nobody about. Nobody can hear you. So, you ain't got listening ears overhead. So in all fairness, if I wanted to mess about with you, Alex, that'd be the place to do it in, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That'd be the place because who can hear you? And unless they're Lazarus, who can tell the secrets you've just done? Nobody,
Exactly, yeah.
So all the dealings are done there. Plus, you've got your prostitutes. Now, it's very cheap prostitution. So basically, it's a quickie behind a headstone. Yeah. So and that's how it's done, and that's how the estate's run. And basically, you've got one end of the spectrum. So you've got the slums of Scotland. Yeah. Absolutely the really bad estates, the old tenements. And then you've got high class Nick Diamond, who's got everything. Absolutely the perfect wife, the perfect lifestyle. He was already born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Dad was a stockbroker. Mum is a lady, except for they kind of swapped because Dad had the money, whereas she was potless but had the title. So she could introduce him to those circles that he couldn't get into. So it made a very nice arrangement. Yeah. But at the end of the day, Nick's grandma is Scottish. His father, his roots are Scottish. So basically, he goes back and forth every time and he does some dealings with some very dodgy characters.
That's a good summary of, good summary.
Yeah. Do you like that? Yeah.
When you were coming up with the plot, what made you decide to do that? Because it's very different to your others from what I've read.
Well, basically, Alex, that's what I wanted to do. I don't like to be samey. I mean, you know, you read up some books and they're all very same. It's just got a different title. Exactly the same story. You've changed the names, but it's the same. I like to venture out a little bit more, you know. And I know this one's a lot darker and a bit more grim, but I didn't want to just do the club lifestyle kind of thing. I wanted to go down the other route, which, to be fair, Alex, is more realistic, isn't it? You know, like I say, I live on a crap estate. You know, you go out there, well, you know, everybody knows everybody, everybody's nosy, but nobody knows anything. Do you know what I mean? So I live on one of those places, and I think there's more estates like that than there is with these wonderful gangland guys in clubs. To be honest, I found it more realistic. So I wanted to go down that route and be more realistic. Yeah.
So when you started, why was it gangland for you? Because you could have gone for many kinds of subgenres of crime. Why was it gangland?
To be honest, I've always been sort of like been surrounded by dodgy blokes. Well, apart from yourself, of course. But no, basically, you know, I lived in London, born and bred in London, you know, for like over 30 years. You know, worked in all the stripper pubs as a waitress and a barmaid before you start like getting all the wrong ideas. Yeah, I hate to think what you're doing while you're lying there, but basically, it was clean. It was clean, you know. And these pubs are a hive of gossip. They really are. You know, whatever you can imagine goes on in these places. The stripper pubs are the place to go. The girls are absolutely brilliant. It's not what you imagine. It's not Dirty Macs and all that. You know, Stringfellas didn't allow those guys in. They probably are there, but they didn't allow them in. You know, the Hackney Road was full of them. And it's supply and demand. I mean, the strippers wouldn't do it if nobody didn't go and watch them, would they? You know what I mean? But, you know, you did get your guys go in there, you know, with the long camel coats on, that kind of thing. And they just turned up on a Friday night and like was handing an envelope over from the publican. And that was for the protection. That was for that racket. So all that is there. So get your strippers, get your protection, get these dodgy guys. I mean, one of the guys who was a DJ, we called him Cokehead Steve. Now, I really don't have to explain why he was called that, do I? You know, and it's like, again, we had DJ Dell. Now, guess what he did for a living? Do you know what I mean? So, basically, you put all these people in a melting pot, give them a bit of author license, and you got a story, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. You got a story. And it's like, so basically a lot of it is of people I've known, circumstances I've known. And then basically sort of like, imagine this, or what if that had happened? And before you know it, you're right in the end, aren't you?
Yeah. When you start writing, as a NHS Secretary, I couldn't imagine that would be what people would imagine. I
don't know, Alex. You have met some of my patients. I tell you, sometimes I come home and I think, I want to murder somebody. Quick. After they've thrown urine at me, demanded an appointment that I don't have, called me horrible names, and then they didn't have the satisfaction because they hadn't had the prescription that they actually wanted. Believe you me, you come home and think, get my laptop out. How can I kill somebody? All day long, you've got to keep tongue in cheek and smile and go, yes, dear. Yeah, it's amazing. You turn into the Hulk. So no, like I said, yeah, I suppose it is. We've all got two personalities, so it's like I look after them all day and kill them at night. Yeah. Best way to do it.
I can imagine you could come up with lots of kind of drug plots and things, because you know what kind of drugs people take being it working.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you know, you've got an insight to what everybody takes and like what everybody's addicted on. And it's like, well, you know, where you think it's all these big drugs, now it's not. You know, if people get addicted to a lot smaller things than that, they don't pay that much and they get it on the NHS. It's amazing. It's legal. So yeah.
Because as a fan of crime, who was it that you were reading before you became a writer?
Seriously, Jane Austen.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm a big Jane Austen and Thomas Hardy fan. Love Thomas Hardy. So yeah, I lean more to like the classics, to be honest. But like one of my favourites, I have to say, of Gangland is Linda LaPlante.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's got a real way of writing, and a prime suspect and all that. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, for me, I would like to be Linda LaPlante. Yeah, Linda LaPlante is who I would go for. Yeah, that and Sherlock Holmes.
I mean, I do like Linda LaPlante, and that she's got really strong women. When you're writing your women characters, what how do you make yours up?
Of the women I've known, a lot of it is women I know and have known, to be honest. Yeah. So again, it's like I say, I've worked with these dancers, I've worked with it. And to work in those pubs, you have to be a strong woman, you know, because otherwise you're just going to get taken advantage of. Everybody's going to take the mickey out of you, you know. So you have to stand your ground. You have to be a strong woman. You are there to dance. You know, at the end of the day, you're married with 2 kids, and this is the only job that fits in with picking the kids up from school. You can't get another job, you know. So that's as flexy as that. And if you don't want to work today, you just ring the agent and say, I don't want to work today, I'll work tomorrow. There's not many jobs that you can do that with. I mean, one of my best friends, you know, it paid for her to go through university, and now she's a barrister. But it was the only job that she could get that fitted in with her shifts and all her lectures, you know. So it weren't a case of, you know, seediness. It was a case of, I need some to pay the rent. This is the best thing I got. Get me jugs out, have a dance about, all sorted, the rent's paid, and I can go to my lectures, and nobody knows anything, do they?
Yeah, don't blame her. Don't blame her at all. Yeah.
So with that, like I say, is strong women, you know, and I've met a lot of them, and I know a lot of them. So it's, you can bounce off little bits of each character. It's like Julie Gold out of my Gold series, you know. Basically, I kind of know a Julie Gold, you know, and she's a feisty, blonde, sassy, you know, always got the perfect one-liner. She's always one of them people that you wish you'd have thought of that. You know, when you're having an argument with somebody, you know, and you walk away and you think, damn, I've just thought of what I would have liked to have said. But our Julie Gold, she gets it, you know, straight away the one-liner comes out of her mouth. And I've known women like that, and when the men have chatted them up and said, like, hello, beautiful, how are you? You know, they've gone like, yeah, right, Specsavers, his clothes, love, off you go. You know, and basically they've always had the one-liner. So strong women, I suppose, are my thing. Handsome, lovable rogues with everything in its right place and a pocket load of money are my thing. I just thought I'd mention that in case there was anybody out there, you know. Hi.
handsome, lovable rogues. When coming up with the cover, what do you look for in a cover model? Because all of your cover models seem to be like a certain style.
Yeah. Well, it's like a lot of like female Gangland writers. I don't know what it is, but you all seem to have this. They all seem to have this stamp where you've got to have a woman on the front, and for some reason that seems to be the signature tune, and you can't break from it unless you're me, because I shove blokes on the front and bits of towers and things like that, you know. And it's like, and again, like I say, with Gold, I've like chucked a bloke in the background. So like I just like to do different things, but that seems to be the signature tune for whatever reason. I don't know whoever thought that up, but it's so, again, gives it that Gangland feel. It gives it that, you know, sassiness, that blondness, and sex sells, Alex. At the end of the day, it's like, there's a good looking bed, there's a good looking bloke, you know, they're going to have a bit of a to do. I'm not going to say this because you're in bed, so you know they're going to have a bit of a to do, you know. And it's like, well, yeah, you know, it could be interesting, you know. There's nothing worse than a blank book, is there? But to be honest, I just like some eye-catching, because I don't know about you. You know, first thing you do, you're walking past the bookshop. I don't care what people say about reviews and all that. You're walking past the bookshop or whatever, something catches your eye, and you stop, and you have a look at it, and you think, what's that? And it's that I like to try and get some eye-catching, even if it's just a blatant colour. You know, it's like I've done like a post-COVID. I've updated a lot of my older books that I first brought out, and I've given a post-COVID makeover. I don't know if you can see them up here. Yeah. I just thought I'd give everything a good plug while we was here, Alex. Yeah.
That's what we're for. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all the same story, all the same title. Basically, I just thought I'd, you know, have a makeup, have a facelift. You know what I mean? So basically, that's all I've done. Just give it an update. Post-COVID, I went mad. You know, put some lippy on it for a change. But again, it's striking colours and eye-catching, and like that's what you want. Because I don't know about you, but if you're a woman and you walk past the shop front and there's a really nice shiny pair of shoes in the window, you stop and look. Nobody looks at an old pair of boots.
Yeah.
So that's it, you see. That's the thing. What do you look for? What about you, Alex? What catches your eye? Apart from me, of course. What catches your eye?
Generally, it's got to be the cover, because I can't read the word on the back. The cover's really important, and I'm picking up a cup.
Yeah.
I don't know why we've got echoes at the same. Yeah. Don't know
But no.
But yeah.
So yeah, I just like some eye catching like that. Maybe I'm like a little magpie. If it's shiny, I look at it.
Have you got background? There's echo. Can hear himself.
Alex, you're cutting out on me, Chuck. Shout a bit louder.
Have you got it on in the background? Because I can hear echo.
You got what? Sorry.
Is it on in the background? I can hear echo.
No, it's nothing on. No, I've got nothing echoing.
Right. Apparently it's just me, but it seems to have stopped now. There we go.
No, I've got nothing echoing apart from me. It's just my voice around this room, I suppose. Yeah.
No, it was me that was echoing, but we stopped now.
Right, I don't want to know about that. That's too much information, Alex. It's a bit late on a Monday night for that. I've just done a 12-hour shift. I'm sorry, love, but you're out of luck.
Yeah, what's it like doing a 12-hour shift and then having to get in to do things like this? How often do you do that?
As often as possible. I'll go to the opening of an envelope. You know, you invite me, I'll go. I don't care. You know, but so to be honest, I found a lot of it, even writing escapism, to like getting down to like brass tacks. It's escapism. It's a way. You know, you spend 12 hours at a counter interacting with some patients, some nice and some not so nice. You know, it's escapism. It's a different world, isn't it? You know, that one keeps me feet on the ground, and this one's fantasy island, isn't it? Right? Because let's be honest, here I am talking to you, you know, in bed. I mean, come on, mate. How many women can say that this week? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, and it's only Monday. God knows what you're going to do tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely going in my book.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I would. Yeah. And it's only Monday. My God. Let's wait for Friday. Yeah. Well, I never expected this.
You've been on UKkhan Book Club before with Sam and Caroline.
Aren't they wicked? Aren't they wicked? They're naughty. They're as bad as me. Yeah, we had a great time. Absolute ball. Yeah. And it's like I used to have T-shirts with all my book covers on, and I could thrust my T-shirts and my covers in Sam's face. But I'm going to save you that. Tonight, I've just got my polo neck on because it hides my chicken neck. So I thought I'd look a bit discreet here, and I ain't showing everybody my wrinkles. So, yeah, no, we had a great time. Did you actually see that vid?
I've seen several videos. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a really, really good time. We had an absolute laugh. Yeah, really, really good. Poor old Sam had tears coming down her face. Yeah.
I like when you get asked a question. What would you say your favourite question you've ever been asked from an audience or an interview is?
Oh, what my favourite question? How is it, Gillian? You look as young as you do, and we know you're older. Are you really that young? Yes, that's my favourite question. But funny enough, nobody's actually ever asked me that. So if people are out there, feel free. Are you really that young and slim as we thought you were? Yes, I am. That's my favourite question, to be honest. But nobody's ever asked it. But apart from that, mainly people want to know how you started writing. I mean, I've been writing very long. I don't know if you know, Alex. It's been 4 years.
Yeah.
So, and I only sort of picked it up basically because I was suffering from empty nest syndrome. My boy had gone to uni, my house was empty, and I had nothing to fill the gap. And then I entered a competition, and that was about, you could write about anything, which is what I did. And they said it was an absolute load of crap. As they do. And it's just my friends that went, actually, we've read like a couple of chapters, carry on. And because we'd like to read it. And so I just went down that route, and it's like, yeah, all right, I'll do it. And then you get to a bit of self-publishing. I had no idea, green as grass, no idea how to do it. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Got totally ripped off by a vanity publisher, So stay away from those people. Believe you, all they see is numbers on a checkbook. So got totally ripped off. But that was from Francesca, and that gave me a platform because I've met some absolutely mega people online. The book clubs are brilliant. Sam, David and Kaz, absolutely brilliant. Jason, he's out there trying to do his bit in between sort of going to hotels and watching cinema. But yeah, no, I've met some absolutely brilliant people, and a lot of the people that have read the books and come up with nice compliments. All right, you get your negative ones, but you get them anywhere, don't you? I mean, I get insulted so many times during the course of the day that one more don't make a difference.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I do like to talk to people about is what they do with the negative reviews, because other friends I've spoken to have put it on mugs and things. Where would you put a funny negative review? Because people put it on mugs.
You're asking me that live on air. I can't believe you just said that. No, well, obviously, as a serious, I would take it on stock, and I would think that everybody's entitled to their opinion. On the other hand, I'd print it and shove it up my arse and think, there you go. I don't care. At the end of the day, love it or hate it, I've enjoyed writing it. I've enjoyed coming up with a story. If you want to read it, you will. And if you don't, you don't. What difference does it make?
Absolutely, yeah.
I say tomatoes, you say tomato. What? Who cares? I mean, recently I've been mixing with a lot of lonely, isolated people, and I've been doing the COVID vaccines, and I've been looking after a lot of people who's had a lot of loss in their life, being serious for a minute. And it's been a very bad, hard-working 2 years mixing with people, dying people, basically. I had one lady, she had a husband in one bed and a son in the opposite bed, and they were both dying. So when you measure it up, that she don't like my book, or she don't like the way my hair curls, and this woman's got that problem.
Yeah,
it's insignificant, isn't it? Totally insignificant. It's like, I can't be bothered, and I just can't be bothered. I suppose a lot of it comes down to bullying and trolling. People are it's so easy to press send on a computer. I don't like you, innit?
It is.
Yeah. And it's like, you don't know me. How can you say you don't like me? You don't know me.
Yeah.
And if you did, you wouldn't like me. But no, so I don't care, to be honest. Everybody's entitled. The only thing that does bother me is when people just go, I don't like it, or don't waste your money, because I think if you're going to give me some feedback, be constructive. Tell me why you don't like it. Tell me what it was you don't like about it. Don't just say, don't waste your money, because that's not helpful in any way, is it?
You've got to say why you don't like something.
Yeah. You know, don't just say, don't waste your money, because that's just being rude and nasty, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the way I've always done it. If I didn't like something, I explain why you don't like it.
Yeah. You're never going to learn. You're never going to learn by your mistakes if nobody tells you what it was.
Yeah. Generally, though, if I don't really like a book, I won't publish the review.
Have you published one for me?
Yeah, of course I have. It's been the other week. You shared it.
Oh, yeah. That was all right as it goes. Yeah. That was all right.
Yeah.
So is this going out on the Crime Book Club then?
Yeah, it's live now.
Oh, is it? Oh, God, I better sit up. Yeah. I hope David Hip is a lot better. Yeah. And Linda, get well soon. Yeah. Because she went well. She had a bit of an accident with a dog, didn't she?
Oh, dear.
Yeah, she did. Dog tripped her up and she hurt herself. And David Gilchrist, well, he's just had a new whip. So he'll be like Red Room soon, won't he? He'll be running around. So Linda better get her running shoes on. But no, so basically, if anybody wants to ask me or anything, I really don't care. It's this, I'm me. That's it. I ain't never going to change. I've got to that age now where I ain't going to change now. I'm too old to change. But I do like writing my books. It's escapism, and I enjoy it. And I've always said to people when they've asked, why do you do it? I do it for me. I write for me. If one person out there reads and enjoys your book, Alex, that is a bonus. That's a big bonus. If they don't, you've done it because you like it. My friend likes crocheting. She likes knitting. Do you know what I mean? She does it because she enjoys it. I write because I enjoy it.
Yeah. Gangland can go anywhere because of the nature of the way it goes. I mean, a lot of people say, do they plot it out? But with Gangland, it can go anywhere. And
exactly.
It doesn't end in the traditional way either. So,
you can just play with it, can't you? There's so many avenues to go down. I mean, all right, you've got your setting, you've got your crime, you've got your bit of killing, but then you've also got the families and you've got the emotions. I mean, as much as these gangland bosses are hard men and probably killers, they've still got families, they've got mothers that they care for, they've still got the people in their life, their families, that they love and they care for, even though that's what they do when they're at work. It's like a 9-to-5 job to them. That's what they do. And they only fight other people that are poaching on their turf. It's like, it's not so much the civilians, they fight each other, like cowboys and Indians, isn't it? So basically that's what I think. But you bring in the family element as well. You want people who's reading it to think that they're there as well, that they're part of it, and they're at the table having dinner with them. Then, of course, you've got the good bits. There's always a naughty bits, isn't there? And I like writing the naughty bits. I must confess, I quite like doing them, because your mind can just run away with you, can't you? You can imagine everything that you'd like to happen and write it down. And so basically that's sex sells, and that's your pervy side coming out. So it's like you say, it's a melting pot. When you have a bad day, you can come home and kill somebody. When you're feeling a bit like, you can just write down all your naughty bits. So basically that's what I think. It's a melting pot. You can do what you like.
Yeah. So you don't write in order then, you just write what you feel when you feel like it.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I've got nothing, I couldn't write in order, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes when I'm thinking of my next book, I might write the end first. I know in here what I'm going to write, but suddenly I might think, I like that ending, and I will write the end first. and then it's like, you know, I like this bit, or I'll write all my chapters out of sync. You know, I might write chapter 1 and then chapter 10, and then you're doing the bit of like you're knitting it all together. Then you're making that story, because it's like, you know, I like that, and I like that, and I like this character. Now we've got to sort of find a way of how they're all going to meet and what they're going to do when they meet. But no, I've got sticky notes all over my wall. I'll be honest with you. I've got sticky pads everywhere that I've nicked from work. So like I've got all my sticky pads, and it's like they've done that and they're going to do that. So I mean, basically, I don't need wallpaper. I've just got sticky notes, which is why I've just bought. Well, my friend calls it a summer house, but it's not. It's a shed with a window. Yeah, but she's trying to be posh. It's like, oh, this is Gillian's summer house. No, it's not. It's not. It's a shed with a window, you know. So I've transformed my little 5x8 shed, basically, with a window. Don't forget the window. Yeah, and I've got it on the extension lead, so I've got a little lamp inside. And I've put my computer in there, so basically I can get away from everybody who's like knocking on the front door and walking in for a cuppa, and I can just sit in my little shed. It's a bit like Harry Potter under the stairs, really. But yeah, and then when I feel like seeing the outside world, I can look out the window in my shed. So I need to sell some books. I've got to pay for this shed. So that, you know, in time, when I become a multimillionaire, I'll get a summer house. You seen the price of them?
They are quite amazing, aren't they? For little buildings. I mean,
it's a shed, isn't it? Yeah. So that's what I've done. I've updated my shed because the other one fell apart. So if you see me on one angle, I look like it's my little office with the extension lead and a lamp. But if you look behind me, you can actually see my bike and the step ladders. So that's why I'm doing it here and sticking it in the lounge and sticking everything on the wall.
So how do you organise yourself when you've got all that? Because with the long hours you do in your job, it must be quite difficult to organise everything.
It is. It's juggling, and sometimes it can be hard because obviously I work full time because I'm potless, you know. So basically, I work full time, and it's like, so when you get an hour here or like a couple of hours at the weekend, it's you just give up living basically. So it's like I go to work at 6 a.m. I come back usually about 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. And basically I'll have a cup and maybe have a sandwich because you're too tired to start cooking. And I think I'll just have an hour to unwind because, in all fairness, seriously now, you know, after the day you've had and working in the environment that I do, there can be a lot of sadness and you can't always go straight to bed after that. You know, you need to unwind. And I just find, like, you know, just picking up my laptop is a little bit of escapism, and it clears the head from some of the sad stories that you've seen during the course of the day. Yeah. So that's what I do. So basically, every 5 minutes that I've got, I'm banging away as much as I can. All right. To be honest, a lot of it I do on Notepad. I don't always do it like straight onto computer. I do it. I've got notepads everywhere, bits of paper here, bits of paper there, you know, and then I'll eventually spread them all over the floor and put them in order. But it's even, I shouldn't say this, but like even when I'm at work, we get like a 20-minute lunch break, you know, but it's like I'm at my desk and I'm scribbling if it's a bit quiet or, you know, if the phone's out ringing. And it's like something comes to you, you've got to write it down, even if it's on a sticky note, but on a little pad. So I'm just scribbling all the time and then eventually put it all together and see what we've got.
McDonald, I would say, is not exactly what you call a traditional character for Gangland, I would think. But how did you come up with him? Because, as I say, he's not what you say traditional. Because,
well, to be honest, his name was like my mate Sue. And myself, we was out one day and basically we was looking in a jeweller's window because that's all we can afford to do. So like there he was looking in the window and she went, "Cole, couldn't you nick those diamonds?" And it's like suddenly I thought, do you know what? That's a really good name, isn't it? So there he was, licking the window outside this jeweller's shop, and it's just there going, oh, we could nick those diamonds. I thought, do you know what? I like that. And like you say, no, he's not conventional. He hasn't come from a bad background or anything like that. You know, he hasn't had to rise from the ashes. He's had it all given to him. So why do you want something else? What is in your genes that is so different that you yearn for something else? But then again, I suppose we all do. I mean, we're all poor and you want to win the lottery. So I suppose if you had a load of money, you might want to know what it's like to live on a tin of beans. But, you know, you've always got the safety net of you've won the lottery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you want to see both angles. But the fact that his roots are in Scotland, his father's from Scotland, his old granny, Beryl, she's one of the knitting nanas. I mean, basically, she still wants to live in her old tenements. As much as the family's got money and he's a really successful lawyer and everything, and they can buy her whatever she wants, she's lived there all her life. That's her family. They're her people. That's her clan. So it's, why would you want to move her into like a 5-bedroomed mansion estate or something like that? She would be very lonely. So he sees that aspect of it, that side of it, and it intrigues him. And from there, you know, basically he demands respect of everybody he knows. And if you don't give it, you'll be a sorry person, basically. On the other hand, he fights to cover his tracks because that could be his downfall.
Yeah. I must admit, when you were describing the old ladies on the scooters going around the estate and everything, I'm thinking they could hide rugs in the chair there or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, so I mean, let's be honest, it's typical. You always get your old ladies, like, you know, with the chairs, don't you? Because they always and the scooters. Because I don't know about you, but they always hit me in the supermarket. I've always said to my friends, you know, when I get old and I've got one of them scooters, I am determined to go down Tesco's and go across everybody's feet. I want my own back, you know. They do definitely want my own back. But I mean, I've got a woman up the street from me. She's got one of them scooters. It's always parked on the front. She never uses it, you know. And it's like, and we've also, we've got a mobile shop, a mobile van that comes down my street, which is again, right, I've nicked that, right, I've put it in my book. But he comes down because we live a bit far out into like back end of nowhere. I've got a mobile shop that comes. Now this woman that needs this mobile scooter and terrorizes everybody in her sight. When this mobile scooter, that mobile van comes down my street, she is like a whippet. You know, it's just like, it's like a rugby scrum to like who gets there first. You know what I mean? It's like this poorly woman, and then she remembers she's got a limp, and so she picks up a fact, and it's like, oh, can somebody help me to the top of the street? So I mean, again, it's all like you say, like, how do you get these things to write about? And I just look out the window and it's there. It's all there for me. Everything, you know, and it's just a bit of author license and that melting pot in it.
Yeah, because you've got like the caretaker for the plot is in coming out of prison. He's like the other end of the scale, but
absolutely.
You get to see from both ends. So,
you've got Steve. He's been set up. You know, he used to do a bit of drug dealing, did it? But now, while he's been in prison, he's kind of woke up. All his life, from being a young kid, he's been in prison, like done this, done that, petty theft, stealing here, stealing that, and now it's like his one last chance with his wife. It's like he either cleans his act up or that's it, they're over. And like I say, his time in prison has done him good because it's like now it's time to grow up. So you've got that end of the scale, but he goes back to the estate and he gets dragged back into the lifestyle that he's doing his hardest to escape from. So you've got both ends of the scale, basically.
Yeah. You described this one as darker than the others. Why would you say that? Why would you say it's darker?
But because I suppose I've gone from, you know, the gangland clubbing lifestyle, and and like everybody's rich and famous and money's not a problem, to people living hard up on an estate and like just waiting for the benefits. You know, people like, you know, lecturers just wanting like to sell drugs, and these are not decent drugs. These are like drugs that's been cut and cut and cut to try and make money. You know, everybody's got money problems. Like I say, it's not your Gangland where, oh, he's gone out and bought a fair coat and like, you know, the world's your oyster and we're going to posh restaurants. No, it's very basic, and some of it is quite dark. I'm sure you agree.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. But I just thought I wanted to go more on the thriller side as well, like that, you know, like absolutely basic. It's basic life, and in some cities, I think it is life.
Yeah, I love them, as we've already discussed, the mobile shop. And
yeah.
You're saying that you've got a local one yourself.
Yeah.
I can imagine on a mobile shop, you get all sorts of stuff.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, he sells these cheap fags. I've got to tell you, Alex, this is why it's so popular. Because every 2 weeks, I shouldn't be telling you this because this is going out live anyway. I don't care. But no, like every 2 weeks, Neil goes to like Tenerife or somewhere, yeah, and he comes back with like a suitcase load of cheap fags that you've never heard of. You don't know the brand, nothing. But like to the people on the nearby estates, he's chucking them out at £4 a packet. Like, come on, let's be honest. Who's going to give up smoking for £4 a packet? You know. So, and he must be making something out of it, right? And he don't advertise it. It's only like word of mouth. People go like, "Do you want a fag?" Like Neil's got some cheap ones, you know, and literally he's making a fortune. And even when, I mean, like a couple of months ago, he was riding around in his van, and the poor old sod, he actually had a heart attack and like went into a lamppost. And like, good girl, little 9-year-old girl saw this, and she rang the emergency services. So obviously, you know, he was like out of touch for a while, but you know, his wife helped him because he still had this suitcase full of fags. You know, Alzina, his mate, went round door knocking. Does anybody want any fags? We've got 200 for sale. Do you want some? And so basically, you know, even though he survived his heart attack, his wife was still selling his fags. I mean, come on, you couldn't make that up, could you? No. Let's be honest.
No.
Yeah. I mean, and that is where you find your stories. You just see these people, you think that's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So it's them stories. And like, oh, he buys and sells all sorts. I mean, like if you can't afford, like you want this or whatever, he gives everybody credit, and they all pay on benefit day. And he's got this little book, and he writes it all down, and everybody gets all the credit for the bread and the milk and all the bits and pieces. And then benefit day, they all go and pay him. And so basically, they all absolutely love him. You know what I mean? It's the most popular guy on my estate. But there again, there's your story, isn't it? If you're going to write Gangland, you're going to pick him.
What is the what's the strangest thing you've ever picked up from the mobile shop?
Oh, I'm glad you said that. I was going to say, what was this guy who took his teeth out on a blind date? But no. Well, I don't know. I've been offered Coke, but it weren't in a can. Yeah. It went, do you want a can of Coke or do you want real Coke? And I went, that's all right. I'll have a tango. It's like, no. And, you know, and that's like the little code words. But basically, yeah, I mean, at one point, you know, he was doing rescue cats as well. You know, he'd found a lot of cats, and does anybody want one? And he put them in the back of his van. And it's like, I found all these cats. Somebody horribly, right? Obviously, a cat had like some kittens, and they just dumped them on the side of the road, and Neil had picked them up, put them in the back of his van, and while he's driving around, it's like, you know, I'll have 10 fags, a bottle of milk, and can I have one of your cats? Yeah, so I'd say that's one of the strangest things. Yeah.
When you're looking at doing the the higher end characters. You worked in London, but where did you get the format for your higher end characters? Did you meet them in the bars you used to work at?
Yeah. Because like I said, in all fairness, it's not what people presume. I don't know. When they say stripper bars or stripper pubs, they see seedy old men having a well, yeah, you know where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Having a shake and vac, under their max. Do you know what I mean? But it's not like it, because in the heart of London, like around the Hackney Road and the Barbican, is only suits. It's only men in suits, and basically it's the nearest pubs. They go in these pubs basically because they're waiting for they've got to wait for the train before they can get home. It's somewhere to get away at lunchtime, and so basically they go in. Now you've got bank managers, you've got stockbrokers, you've got the lot, and they all go in there because that is the centre of London. Where else are they going to go? So no, it's not dirty old men, and it's a bit of frivolous fun, and the girls take they do a collection because the pubs are too tight-fisted to pay them. Right. So what they'll do is they pay your cab fare. So they might give you, say, a tenner. That's your cab fare, love. Whatever else you're going to make, you're going to have to make it yourself. So they give them a pint glass, and they go around and do collect. Like a couple of quid, $5 off him, a couple of quid here, a couple of quid there. Sometimes you can make some money. Sometimes you're glad of that cab fare home. But basically, so it's a bit of light-hearted fun for them, a bit of light-hearted fun for you. And, it's a lot of characters. I mean, and you do get your strange ones because you've got your bank managers mixing with your builders, because if they're building in and around the city, they'll come in as well. And it's kind of weird because they all kind of mix together and they all get on. And they're all there just for a bit of entertainment, and that's all it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Now you're not living in London and you moved out.
Yeah. I came to Yorkshire.
Yeah. Has that changed your ideas and your where your platform's coming from? Because it must be a bit different, because you did a lot of your earlier books in London still. Yeah,
no, not really, because I still go back to London quite often. So I still got to go and see my old mates. I know I ain't been funny, but I love my old muckers. We go out there, we go and have a weekend, a long weekend away, and don't go to bed for 72 hours. Basically, we just get totally ratted all weekend and eat what we can and cause as much chaos as possible, because that's the whole point of going away. But no, so I like to meet up with my old friends. I've a good thing. So, and I even now I still pop in the stripper pubs and see the landladies that I used to know and go and have a drink with them and go have a chat with them. So, as my son said, I'm the best father he had, because basically there he was, a 17-year-old boy, and I took him in a stripper pub for a pint. And he's like, oh my God, you're the best father in the world. He went, oh, what other mother would do this? But yeah, I mean, to people, it's oh, it's that pub. To me, it's my mates. I've known Phyllis, the landlady, for over 30 years. I've known her daughter since she was at school. I've known all these people since there was knee high to a grasshopper. To me, it's family. So it's all right. I've come to Yorkshire. That was one of them things I had to. So I've come to Yorkshire, but my heart is London.
Yeah. Now you've moved to Yorkshire. What if you were to write a Yorkshire plot? Where would you start, do you think?
Well, I'd start with Neil and his mobile shop down Bow Street. I mean, to be honest, a lot of people think I should write about Bow Street because it has got some very strange characters in. Yeah, absolutely. Real strange characters. But it would be a bit like Shameless. You remember Shameless off the TV? Yeah. That is my street, But in saying that, we're a real close community. I mean, I shouldn't say this live, but I never lock my front door. Never lock my front door. And so all the time I've got people just open the door and they go, oh, Jill, shall I go and put the kettle on? And you think, yeah, it's because you're saving yourself your own tea bags, But it's oh, Jill, can I just come in? So, and it's I've got Norman. He always puts my bins out, and he always takes the parcels in. And he's like in his 70s. He's a pensioner, but he is like your neighbourhood watch. He does all the parcels. He takes everything in. He puts everybody's bin out. Like, basically, he's like a little Rottweiler. Anybody goes near your front door when he knows you're not there, he's right behind them like an old woman, you know. And you've got everybody. I mean, next door to me, I've got Matt the mechanic. So if my car ever don't start, Matt is there sorting it out so I can get to work. And it's really handy because his wife is the hairdresser. So basically, we're really close knit. So with that, but I probably would start with Neil and his mobile van. Yeah, definitely. And like some of the things that would go up in there. And like, you know, as for Yorkshire, it's full of its own characters, isn't it? Let's be honest. You could write a lot about Yorkshire, and it's steeped in history, which is why with Diamond Geezer, I went to Glasgow, because that is steeped in so much history. I think people overlook it a little bit. It's got so much going on in there. I mean, to be honest, part of like Diamond Geezer, like the idea of that, I like the idea of, I don't know if you know Arthur Thompson and Paul Ferris, you know, and they were two big gangland figures in Scotland, and they ruled Glasgow for years, you know. And I like the idea of that, and I like the idea of Iceman, which again was in Scotland. So basically that's what kind of triggered that off. It's if I sort of like get a fetish for something and something takes my interest, then I'll start of like putting author license to it, and I'll start, you know, like, what if this or what if that. And like you say, as soon as you start writing, you don't know what you're going to write. It just comes out, doesn't it? So
what's next for you then? Because as we conclude, I like to find out what's
I like that. Conclude. Yeah, it's a proper good word. I'll put that in my diary, because I've got a little book full of words that I can use, you see. Yeah, because it's like, otherwise my words are like pretty limited. It's just like, oi, how are you? Oi, babes. Yeah. So no, as I say, Diamond Geezer, right, is plug time, because you're going to conclude, right? Buy me on Audible, on Amazon, in paperback and Kindle. Right, there you go.
Yeah.
That is the first in the trilogy of the Diamond Trilogy.
I was going to ask you about that. I'll ask you about that afterwards, because obviously, I'll ask you about that afterwards. I'm not going to say, but let's just say it's intriguing, guys, and that's why you need to read it.
Yeah, but then I've just finished book 2.
Because it's very intriguing ending. That's why you need to read it, pick it up. Yeah, definitely worth it.
So, like I say, I've made this one into a trilogy, and it gives you an insight to everything else. And Patsy Diamond, Nick's wife, she sort of like wants to get a lot more interested into the business, and she pulls her friends in with her, and it all becomes a bit dark and a bit treacherous, and obviously it's Gangland. And again, we've got a lot of strong women doing a lot of strong things.
Yeah, sounds interesting, because there's a lot of characters you could use. Yeah, interesting. You got on the Patsy route.
Yeah. So now I've got like a group of women who think, do you know what? I could do that. And like, let's be honest, and women are more cunning than men, aren't they? They're more devious.
Women seem to make interesting angles for Gangland.
Yeah.
Why do you think they're more popular on the Gangland form than in it? Yeah.
Because I just think women think of the big picture, where men think of the small. You see, it's like men think, I'm a stud, I've got a few quid in my pocket, you know, basically I've got this thing hanging between my legs that everybody's dying for, and I'm handsome, and that's it, full stop for them. Yeah. Whereas women think beyond that, and they think, but I want that money for a rainy day. 2, I need this money for like my plastic surgery. 3, Gillian needs that to get rid of her chicken's neck. We're more long thinkers, and we want to hold the power for longer.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and it's a lot harder for a woman to have authority and power in a man's world. So you have to go that extra step to that extra level to prove that you are on an equal scale. So women have to prove themselves and be that little bit stronger.
Yeah, so to end it with audiobooks, because my audience will know that I only review audiobooks generally. What did you think of the narrator? Because I thought it was a really good Scottish.
Absolutely. And he got a sexy voice.
Yeah.
I actually thought he sounded like Sean Connery. Yeah, I did. I thought he had that gravelly Sean Connery about him, to be honest. Yeah, they couldn't have picked a better guy. David is absolutely spot on, because, you're right, and you can see and you can hear these people in your head. I mean, don't tell everybody this, because I will have guys in white coats knocking at me, because like a friend said to me the other day, do you ever get lonely, Gillian? I went, how can I get lonely? I've got all these people in my brain. How on earth can I get lonely? But basically, bottom line is I've got all these people floating around in my head and you can hear them. And so when it comes to where they say, we're going to give you a narrator and somebody's going to read your words and narrate your words, it's very scary, because you think, are you actually going to come up with what I can hear?
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God. I mean, it must be like the same for like when it goes to like people make movies and things. It's like, I've created this character. I know what he looks like. I've created him. Like Frankenstein. Are you going to find that man to play him? But I have to say, with David, thumbs up, chum. Yeah, he does a great job. I love the voice and I love the way he reads it. Absolutely spot on. Yeah, he's done a great job. Have you listened to the Audible?
I have, yeah. Yeah. I did leave it until nearer the interview, but that was only, I think, last week. I think I read it.
Yeah. What do you think to his voice?
I thought it worked really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really pleased when I heard it. Really, really pleased. Yeah, couldn't have picked a better one there. Yeah, spot on.
Because there's quite a lot of Scottish narrators, because of all the ones out there in bloody Scotland, and he definitely picked out the right kind of.
Yeah, they sent me about 3 or 4, and one was like, see you, Jimmy, here. And I thought, oh my God, no, I can't have that. It sounded like Rab Nesbitt, here, Jimmy, And the other one sounded like David Tennant. He didn't have that gravelly authority behind it. It sounded like Doctor Who, And then they played with David, and I thought, oh, yeah, we'll have him. Yeah, we'll have a go at him. And the more we read it, and then when it went onto disc, because that's what I like about it. It's not just a case of downloading the Audible on your computer. It's actually in hard disk, so you can put that in your car or whatever to listen to it. Yeah, that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
And also I think it's great for the visually impaired, because it's like a friend of mine, and she's blind. Now she can sort of way around her CD player, but to mess about trying to download on a computer is hard work. So she can put the discs in, and she's got her book, and I think it's a really, really goodie, that, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love David. I have to say, spot on, kid. If you're there, thumbs up.
Well, thanks so much for a really interesting hour. And I'm looking forward to the next one in the series, I must admit, yes.
Oh, good. That's Rough Diamonds, and that's coming out in August. Yeah.
In August.
I'll show you the cover, but we haven't got one yet. I hadn't thought that far ahead.
Okay.
So basically, it just says Rough Diamonds by Gillian Godden, coming soon, cover to be revealed.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you guys in a fortnight, because I'm having a week off next week. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for talking to us, Alex. It's been an absolutely lovely chat. I really appreciate it. Hello to everybody at UK, at the Old Crime Book Club. And I hope everybody's really well and okay too. And it's really nice. If somebody's watched, thank you. And if you haven't, well, you've missed a great show.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye, everybody.